Hi, today I just wanted to demonstrate to you a small thing that I've been trying from past few days. This running your code test cases in a distributed environment with the help of Visual Studio Online. So back then in 2010 and 2012 and even in 2010 we have something called test rig, a concept where you have this controller and agents. You have a bunch of machines configured under lab management. You install, you configure the lab center, MTM, and all a bunch of tools that you require to have to ensure this runs on different VMs. So, but whereas in 2015 VSO we have this great tooling within your VSO, which lets you to run your CUIT test cases in a distributed environment with a very easy steps. So I thought probably I could share with you the steps and how they have been done. Probably it will benefit you in your project during your QA stage. So let's get started. Okay, so this is my VSO account configured. This is my server configured server. This is my collection, and implementation is the name of my team project. So these are the previous XAML definitions, like upgraded from previous things to VSO 2015. So whereas in VSO 2015 we have this new XAML new build definition that has been introduced. So let's get started. So I click on this new build definition where you get to see I've just selected Visual Studio and I would say press next. And this is my team project, TFS team project. I would say yes. So in 2015 we have something called build tools. You have called agents, hosted, default, and different set of agents. Probably I'll create a new video for you to share on how this actually works. For the sake of simplicity, let me start it with a hosted agent and say create. So unlike you do not require to have Visual Studio to create this definition. That's exciting. Seriously, you need to back then you need to have at least a professional Visual Studio professional to create this build definition and all that stuff. But here you do not require to have. You can just do it from your browser, provided if you have credits to connect to your TFS. Okay, so this is how it goes. I've got my build definition. These are the list of steps that I have pre-configured steps. So I could add more steps if required, right? So this is a different steps. So under the build, you can actually build your AND projects, MAV, and you can build through your MS build. There's a list of you can actually build your Xcode using your Xcode IDE, and you can actually have Xamarin and all that stuff. So for as of now, my major requirement is to run the coded UI, the test cases that has been checked into your team foundation server. Pick that solution and move to your environment and run your coded test cases on this particular environment. So as of now, I have this this is my Windows Azure environment. You could actually see this like auto run vm.cloudapp.net. It's a pretty simple 3 gig Windows 8.1 VM with Azure VM. Right, you don't have. It's a pretty clean VM. It has come with pre-configured Visual Studio and a community edition, not a professional, not a premium, or not enterprise, not ultimate. Right. So I've just ran a small command, couple of commands stating that okay, winrm config. So it actually ensures that whether the Windows remote management is configured or not. So with HTTPS, that's it. Not pretty much. Okay, this is HTTPS. I've configured. That's it. No tool, nothing I have installed. Right. So okay, this is my VM that I have. Right. So let me go back to my test tab. Before I trigger any test case, let me come back to my test tab. So there is an option called machines. This is still under preview. So that's the reason you could see an asterisk over here. So there is something called machine group that has been introduced as a part of VSO. So machine group is a combination of machines, right? You can create a group. Under the group you can add multiple machines, just like you have in creating a lab environment in MDM, right? So this is pretty simple. You click on say start, so you can provide some groups. So let's provide some name, lab group. So in order to connect to this group of machines, I could provide name, so this thing, and you can actually provide your username, password, and all that stuff. So here I need to provide under the group how many machines that I have, but I could add multiple machines. You can either add a public IP or fully qualified domain name. So for this thing I could add any VM. So say the test vm.cloudapp.net, and there is a default WinRM port, and you can provide certain tags, and you could add, so my CUID VM dot or I would say qa.cloudapp.net, and you just like that you can keep on adding your VMs. So you can actually whenever you pass any credentials, that credentials would be used in order to connect to this VM. So if you have custom credentials, you can use these options. So you can actually pass your username and password for this VMs. So this is how you can create a machine group. Right now I have a group called autorun. This is a group which is created with this VM, autorun vm.cloudapp.net. Pretty simple, straightforward. So under the build tabs, let me quickly create a build definition and trigger the test case and just see how it actually works. Okay, so I've got a build definition. Let me quickly create a new build definition, just like I've created a few minutes back. So Visual Studio, next, and this is my project implementation. So create, that's it. So this is what I have. I don't want NuGet installer. I have simple my Visual Studio project. So let me connect to my project. So this is my project which has one simple test case, code UI test case, and it has been associated to a test case inside TFS, right? I have associated the test method to the test case. I believe that you know how to do that. So you have got this build platform, build configuration, simple Visual Studio version. What I'm trying to do is I want to remove all that stuff. So once my project has been built, okay, I want to move the binaries to a specified location, right? I wanted to move a binaries to a specified location. Probably I could use this MS build argument called out directory, where just I'm creating a variable here, builds directory, and so this my this all the output goes to this particular directory, right? So once it got, what I want to do is I want to fetch files that are available, basically the DLL from this particular directory. I want to move to my Azure VM. So I can have multiple VMs. So for the sake of simplicity, I am using only one VM over here, right? So I want to move this to this particular this particular VM. So how do you do that? So this is an option that we have called Azure file copy, right? So there are many people have been suggesting me to use Windows machine file copy, but that will not work in your Azure environment. So use Azure file copy. So use Azure file copy over here. So I would say, what is my source location? So source location is going to be the location that I have provided here. So this is my source location where I wanted to fetch my binaries. And so this is my this is my directory. So I have Azure Classic subscription. So if you don't know how to do this thing, it's pretty straightforward. you can go to your project services, where you can provide your Azure VMs, credentials. So I have created this thing saying that what is the username, what is, you need to actually download a publish.settings file, which provides you the information of certificate, provides the subscription ID and all that stuff. So I have set up everything here in this file. So I'm just by default selecting this thing. This is my subscription file, and I wanted to move the destination that this is going to be the Azure VMs, not blobs. So I know my storage account and all that stuff. If you have your Azure portal, you can actually get to know all that stuff. So this is my, under which cloud service my VM has been running. So this is my admin login, password and all. So out of the box, whenever you input this thing, you'll be able to see your user, you are being exposed to your username and password to the people outside there. So I would highly recommend you to create an environmental variable, basically a variable over here. This is how you can create. So you can say machine username, and say this is my machine password. So you can, without opening this build definition, you can pass your username and the password. So the destination folder is going to be some folder, say deployment, right? So this is what I have. So I can use clean target. So before I deploy, if there is any folder just with this thing with any DLL, so it actually cleans and deploys it. Okay, so very simple. I picked up my source directory DLL files and copying it to the VMs, this particular folder, right? C drives. Once that has been copied to this thing, I wanted to install a service called test agent. Like in 2015 we have test agent service, so we don't have controller. Test agent itself has capabilities which which can take care of all your testing process, basically running your interactive mode process and all that stuff. So what I'm trying to do over here is I go to the test tab and I use this thing called Visual Studio Test Agent Deployment. So this is a service, and this is actually a tool which comes in 2015, gets downloaded online and installed on this VM. Pretty simple and straightforward. So over here I want to say where do I want to install my test agent. I would say I can put my mission group, like heavily mission group. So this is my mission group name, and I would use HTTPS, and here I would use the same username and password with this configuration variables. Right. Since I want to run this agent as interactive process, I check this box. If not, you can ignore this thing which runs as a service process and runs your unit test case and all that stuff. So that's it. Pretty simple. This tool actually, you can see somewhere here there should be an option which says that, okay, so can you see that the test agent location? By default it downloads from this URL and downloads onto the VM if I don't provide any test agent. If you are working on premises, basically a network environment where you have a test agent exe file, you can pass this file. So once it has been downloaded, I want to run a bunch of test cases. So I have one more task that comes out of the box from Visual Studio 2015. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. So the drop location is going to be C drive deployment folder, or I could use system drive, Centel. Deployment. It's pretty simple. I wanted to fetch my DLL. This is my name of my DLL. And do you have any criteria like I want to run with so and so test category, I want to run with so and so priority, you can pass this thing. You can even pass your run settings file. You can actually fetch the code coverage as well. So I'm not probably I'll create some other video on talking in detail about all this tooling. So once it is done, if you could go to this variable where if you remember a few minutes back we have created all that stuff, the environment, the variables for your deployment process. So what I do is I use these variables just to pass my credentials over here. So rather than every time opening my build definition and all this stuff, I can just pass my credentials in an environment where you wanted to change your machine group or change your username and password, so you're not required to disturb your build definition. You can just pass it here. So the username is Abraham and the password. So the moment I type password, so it actually, so if I pass this thing, you can actually see this thing. So it's not masked. So there's an option here called lock. So it's either secret. So you can actually pass your password over here so that no one would actually see it. I guess that's all. I guess we are done. Right, we are done. So these are the default variables. You can create your variables based on a requirement. Let me save this thing. Probably I would say CUT. Okay. Resolution. That's it. I would say okay. Right. So we have done this thing. This is our build definition and say trigger. That's all. I've done it. I'm using a hosted. The architecture in TFS 2015 VSO has changed with respect to the build. So there is a build pool system. You can actually have a deployments to your cross browser, cross browser platform and all this stuff. So I'll see. I've been working on deploying to Chef, deploying using Chef and using DSC PowerShell scripts, and as well as the Puppet labs and all that stuff. So I've been working. Probably I can create some other video very soon. So you can see here, right? This 2015 provides you a very cool, awesome GUI based status on what's happening. Probably you've seen in 2013 is in XAML based. You get to see what all the activities, and its XAML is huge chunk. It's like big ghost. But in 2015 they improved a lot. You can actually see your project was built, and you are right now. I pick up the subscription file, reads the username and password and certificate key and all, connects to my VM. You can actually see what are the PowerShell commands that are getting executed as a part of you connecting to your to Azure environment. You can actually see the files have been uploaded to so and so source path under this particular storage account, and so copying has been started to this VM. So probably I just wanted to show how the agent actually gets installed and all that stuff. So we can actually see the files have been copied to this VM. So when it's copied, I wanted to deploy my agent on this particular VM. So let's see how this actually works. So can you see here, right? It used this so-and-so credential to connect username and the password to connect, run as process. So the disabled screens, which is true, agent would get download from this particular URL. I don't want to collect any data diagnostics file. So data collection. So I made it to false. So it's running a bunch of PowerShell comments on this thing. So it's just actually verifying whether the test agent is available. If not, it comes. If it's not available, it goes and downloads and configures the same. If it's not there's a silent based installation as well, a silent based installation configuration as well. So if it is already available, it configures. If you see, can you see, can you observe here, just like in 2010, 2012 and 2013, just like you have build agent configured as a run as interactive process, just similar to this thing, you'll get to see the command line, this Windows command prompt. So this is actually running as an interactive process as of now, and you get to see what is a test run. Can you see, right? The test run is getting, so it picks up the DLL from this specific location, it builds and picks up this location, what all the test cases that are available as a part of your DLL under your search criteria. It goes and picks up the the test cases and comes and executes. For the sake of simplicity, I just used a calculator application. So my major intention is to help you on how this can be leveraged, how easy it is to set up. So that's the reason. Probably you can try your own application, all that stuff. Probably you can comment on this video. Can you see here? It's what? So this is running my automated test case, and it generates a TRX file and so and so location, and it stops. So you can see here, right? The one test case have been passed. So can you see, right? It's passed. All the steps have been passed. I can see here. I say that. See, this isn't passed. In fact, like, you do not require to come to your MDM and update the status and all that stuff. If you're running a command line, you will have to come and update the status of your test cases. But here in 2015, what I was like, the reporting has been quite improved a lot. So this was my test run, and you could see here, this is my test case. So just executed a few minutes back. So this is my first run, and it says that the test case has been passed. Probably you can run, you can download this TRX file. I'm working on a PowerShell script which actually reads this TRX files and sends out an email to your team, your team out there, saying that how many test cases have been passed or failed and all that stuff. So I guess this is what I wanted to show to you guys. It's pretty simple, straightforward. I believe that it's really helpful to you guys. Probably you can try it out. If you have any questions, ping me, comment over there. Probably I'll surely get back to you very soon. Thank you so much, and have a great time in creating automation scripts and executing them in VSO environment. Thank you all. See you.